Hello and welcome back to another episode of the MindSets podcast, episode 86. Charles, what's the latest for you?
We've got so much to talk about, so much sporting news, so much marathon news, so much life news. We've got lots to talk about.
Well, first of all, I'm going to start off with an apology.
Okay.
For anyone that made it through the last episode, an hour and 45 what it was.
A PB.
It was a PB for us.
It was.
Part of the news that we're going to cover, but you could almost run a marathon in the time that we're doing the podcast. But that was arguably the intention. It was a marathon special. It gave some people something to listen to while they were running. Yeah, it was a long one. We're going to try and avoid doing that. And what we've realized is quite often it's because we have too much news and too much grind my gears, because we end up getting like half an hour in before we move off those. But this episode, there has been so much going on that we're not going to try and squeeze in an athlete and do them a disservice by getting 45 minutes in before we even mention what they're doing with their life. So we are just going to kick it off and basically just do a news, grind my gears and game episode. And I think there'll be quite a lot of information about people along the way in there. So with that being said, unless there's anything else, do you want to get involved and start off doing the news?
Are we going to try and do news sub 2?
No.
Okay, fine.
We're not.
Sub 2 hours.
Sub 2 hours, ideally. Yeah. On that topic.
Yeah.
Huge news.
Yeah. I feel like that's going to be the main talking point of the whole episode is the two boys who ran sub 2 over the weekend. So I'm going to, for now, glaze over that because I want to talk about that in a little bit more detail. Let's just quickly go off running for a second.
Okay.
I don't know if in the news you've seen that McLaren have started making golf equipment.
This excites me.
Yeah, and it's not like this really gimmicky, we'll do a collab with McLaren. They're actually going full in on making golf equipment, and they've signed Justin Rose. So like
big name.
Like a big name. I think there's also speculation that they've signed a couple of other big names as well, but they're coming in hot with Justin Rose. So they mean business, and he's going to be playing with McLaren clubs for next year.
Just putting this out there, if Rory McIlroy went and moved away from TaylorMade, how sick would the clothing be for McLaren / like ex Nike?
It would be. We're spending some money on that. Oh, for sure, we're spending some money on that.
Time. Yeah, crazy. That would be really cool if they can do what they do in Formula One, which is where they basically look for any way to get around the rules on equipment and then make it happen. And we spoke about it at the beginning of the season. Ferrari didn't end up running with it, but they had like a rotating wing. Imagine just like a driver that has an electric motor in it because they found a way to make that leap.
Or like you can lengthen it.
Yeah.
Pull it out
I don't know if you've seen, this is a little bit niche for the golf YouTube watchers here, but Rick Shields and a few other YouTubers have tested out the like explosive driver. It's for like people that are old and can't hit the ball very far, but you put like a capsule in it for like a gun, like a shotgun capsule, and then you load it up and then you can just put a ball in front of it and fires it.
So you don't even have to swing it?
Yeah. No, you literally just put it behind the ball.
What's the point?
Bang. And it gets you 200 yards down.
It's like a gun.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I might look into that.
They are sick.
Yeah, they are fun.
Anyway, on to
more news.
Yes.
So NFL draft last weekend.
It was, yeah.
I think that will also be last weekend for you guys listening.
Yeah.
I'll just say the first pick went to the Raiders.
Yeah.
And they selected Fernando Mendoza, who played for Indiana last season. He was actually the Heisman winner for 2025. So he plays quarterback for the Raiders. So be interested to see how he goes in the big boy league next season.
Very talented player from what I saw. Obviously, Indiana, when we were talking about them winning college playoff first time ever. He's actually got a younger brother.
Really?
Who's also pretty good, who just recently transferred. So it'll be interesting to see if a bit like, I don't know if you'll know these guys, the Tagovailoa brothers. Tua Tagovailoa had more concussions, I think, than passes in his recent career.
True.
But he was by far one of the phenoms coming out of college. He had a younger brother who just didn't convert, and everyone was like, oh, he's going to be as good, if not better. And it didn't happen. So it'll be interesting to see if with the Mendoza family, if they can do it. But I will say that he is arguably like, and he, not in like a bad way at all, but he's probably the most like white quarterback for quite some time.
Yeah.
He's your NFL prototype pocket passer.
Yeah, okay,
gets
fine.
the job done.
Yeah.
And just will do what he needs to do to not get injured, but win games.
Is he going to be the face of the franchise?
Well, this is the typical thing. I don't know if you've seen the drama around it.
No.
Is that so you said who he'd been drafted by.
Yeah.
So they have also just paid a lot of money to their starting quarterback.
Oh, really?
For the next few years. So we'll let them.
But that seems to always happen.
Yeah, and do you know what? From like inside
the
of the
next best
sport, inside the sport is not a bad idea. Like sign someone really good, give them a few years to learn, and then get them going. If you sign someone good out of college and you throw them straight in, it's very, very rare unless they're a physical presence on the
There
field.
have been a few cases, haven't there?
Because Cam Newton was great.
Yeah.
But like, again, his difference wasn't like his ability to read the game. His ability was just to run people over and be like really...
Because I've been disappointed with like Trevor Lawrence and his presence in the league, but I guess he's just not got the team around him.
And yeah, so that's the thing that I love about American sport, is that the draft system is designed to kind of neutralize across years. So the worst team will get the first picks unless they've traded them. Trevor went to, at the time, the worst team in the league by far. And the problem was that they didn't have a strategy for like easing him in.
It was just like, you're going and you have to bring us up.
He didn't start first game, but he probably should have done, because the guy who was ahead of him had been notoriously a backup for other teams. And then he came in and kind of just had to deal with what he got. And it happens so many times. And a lot of quarterbacks might enter the league and they'll be frustrated that they don't get to start because they're the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
But then actually...
And they've been worshipped throughout their whole college career and high school career as well.
And then it's those guys that end up not really making it in the league because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, Brady, for example, was drafted like, I don't know how low down he went.
196.
He went like slow. And then is obviously one of the greatest, if not the greatest ever.
Same with Patrick Mahomes, which is a more like household name. Like, he was drafted in the first round and he was considered one of the best players, but then he sat for, I think, 2 years.
Oh, really?
He got some reps, but he sat for 2 years behind a very, very good player, learned how he controlled it, and then brought in his talent and the things that he would do differently leading the team.
Yeah.
And then
as a result,
franchise, it was incredible. So yeah, anyway, what's next?
I've got Nelly Korda. So she's a female golfer. She won her third ever major over the weekend. It's called the Chevron Championship. I think it's one of their 5 majors that they're going to have this year. So she started the year strong. As a result of that win, she's also reclaimed top spot. So she's ranked now world #1 female golfer. So going to probably have a pretty successful career over this year. She also equaled, I think it was the lowest shooting score across 54 holes at that event. And then won the event by a record 5 shots or something like that. So she was playing some good golf, which was really cool.
I've got a golf one, but I want to come back to it because I feel like we're just talking about golf.
Okay, fine.
We're going to recap very quickly. It feels like ages ago now, but the High Rocks Elite 15 Warsaw race was the final major of the season. So what did we see there? Well, Joanna Beatrick won the Grand Slam. So she's won every single major this season.
Yeah.
And she set a world record. So she ran in a time of 54 minutes, 25 seconds, which is absolutely insane. It's also worth saying that Lauren Weeks, who finished second, also broke the old world record.
Yeah.
And what we learned pretty quickly was this could be a fast course.
Yeah.
And then following that, Alex Ronchevich won that race and ran that in a world record time of 51:29, which is just absurd because that's almost a minute quicker than the world record we saw a month ago in London, which was almost a minute quicker than the previous world record. So it's just a bit mad at the moment. I think people are starting to understand that world records probably don't mean that much anymore, and that's why they're moving.
I think
point system.
at this point in the sports infancy, it's still growing. It's still like adapting and learning and kind of standardizing things. That's natural to happen, but it doesn't take away from the fact that these are incredible athletes doing incredible things. And I think it was probably the conditions were really good in Warsaw.
Exactly. One of the interesting things as well, which probably wouldn't get spoken about normally, but from being there, it was actually really cold in the stadium, which for the athletes, a lot of them are doing heat training. It's just like a real bonus.
But I think like physiologically, the cooler it is, I don't want to misspeak, and we'll talk about this with the marathon over the weekend in London as well. I'd kind of written it off as a fast course because I got to the course at like 9 a.m. and I was already like shorts and t-shirt, like it's warm. So I kind of written it off, and all of the commentary in Warsaw around the High Rocks, they're like, oh, it's colder in the venue. I'm like, yeah, naturally you want conditions to be like 3-4 degrees if you're actually like looking at the science behind it. So naturally you're going to sweat less, your heart rate's going to stay a little bit more consistent or lower for longer. And you're not going to have to worry about dry mouth or taking on as much water, et cetera, et cetera. So like, it is conducive to being faster. So naturally, as we saw, that will definitely contribute to it.
And I think all of the athletes were commenting when they were turning up, and noticeably, and I don't know if this was a timing thing, if this was a deliberate thing, but I noticed on both of the nights for the solos and the doubles, between the women's race and the men's race, it dropped.
Oh, really?
Like I was running around with my camera, as you know.
Yeah.
I got my appearances on everybody.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Instagrams, but
It's like the drinking game.
I was absolutely shorts and a t-shirt, gave my hoodie and my bag to someone else for the women's race, and then by the men's race I was asking for my hoodie back, still running around.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's actually kind of cold in here.
Yeah.
So that was that. The only other thing really worth mentioning, because there weren't any world records in the doubles races, was that the Roxfit team of superstars broke the world record for the mixed relay.
Saw that.
So they ran a 46-47. So that team was Joanna Wheatrick, Charlie Boscherl, Sinead Bent, and Sebastian Ifferson, who also qualified.
Crazy team, yeah.
Unreal team. Again, watching it, crazy
So
quick.
fast.
So that was a lot
Did
of fun.
Lauren Weeks and was it Tafuto? Did they run
Vivian
together?
Tafuto,
Did they not break the world record?
I don't think it was a world record.
But they've now won every race that they've raced together, or
Yes,
at least got
yeah.
faster through. Yeah.
And what's really interesting about the way that the Hierarch system is going next year, and that you can only be paired up with somebody, so they're probably going to stay together as a team,
which is cool.
And I will say, from watching Vivian race in person, she looks so unbothered about being there. And like, I will also say Lauren Weeks is a far stronger runner, so she is being dragged, but she just looks like kind of annoyed the whole time.
Yeah.
She just does get through it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's
actually
incredible
kind of like,
that she manages, because it looks like she's having a miserable time, and you look at Lauren and she just looks like she's having the best time ever.
Exactly. What I am excited to see though is Joanna versus Lauren in the doubles race come Stockholm, because obviously Joanna didn't do her doubles race there, so it was kind of just like, okay, this is interesting.
No, it's set up to be a really good way to finish the season. But
Big
there was,
time.
I think you called Alex Rongovic as well. You were saying that he was going to win.
I think so.
We couldn't overlook Joanna when we kind of took our predictions there. And then Charlie Searle and Lauren Stockley managed to get their qualifying.
So
good.
bad. And I mean, I don't know if she'll listen to this, but Lauren's dive across the line, which was completely unintentional, was incredible. So good. Bless her.
You got such a good video of that as well.
And bless her, I think she really hurt herself doing it, but like she kind of had
point,
to,
I'm fine.
have to be happy. But that was really nice
really
of
pleased for
to
them.
get that.
Yeah.
Moving on from Hierarchs, we should talk probably Women's Six Nations.
Round it up.
Yeah, so week 3 that we're on now, I think England are just like allergic to doing anything less than 50 points at this moment.
They're quite good.
So they are quite good. 62-24 last weekend. Italy beat Scotland 41-14.
Yeah.
France beat Ireland 26-7. So that's where we're going at the moment. It's looking like the Roses are going to sweep.
I think the weekend before, when England played Scotland, I think Ellie Kildun, our mate, she scored her 50th England try, which was really cool as well. Yeah.
Okay, that was cool.
And then she started. We all got confused. We saw all the Instagram posts of Ellie starting the London Marathon. We're like, what, the day after she played a game?
Yeah.
But the starting was she pressed the big red button with Mo Farah to initiate the event.
Yeah.
She didn't actually run it, which would have been really cool.
That would have been crazy.
yeah. But that's also on the news as well.
Bringing it back to golf, I've got a slightly niche bit of information. I can't find it. I will continue scrolling as I explain, but there is an unofficial golf world record through 72 holes.
I can't wait for you to pronounce this guy's name.
And Andreas van der Weifer through 72 holes was 35 under par. He's under 19.
Never.
It's unofficial because there's only footage of him on his last round.
Okay.
But like, it wasn't an event that was televised or anything.
Yeah.
But he went 35 under through tour level.
Well, even if it's even if there's no footage of it, there's got to be people there watching, and they've verified the scores after every round.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's still unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
Imagine.
Yeah, so keep an eye on his name, because if he can
that's really
continue
cool.
doing that in his career, then he will be a
really
big
cool.
name. What's next?
I think you've got to go for your mate LeBron James.
Right. Okay. Now this is just crazy to me. So at the moment, for context, it's the NBA Finals. So we're in like the playoffs, and the LA Lakers, who LeBron plays for, are playing against the Houston Rockets. Now, going into this, some further context is that the LA Lakers have got some pretty big injuries, and they are missing probably the 2 best players on their roster for the season. And what that comes down to then is you've got LeBron James, who is always in the GOAT debate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there should be a single debate. I've been thinking...
Not now, yeah.
For a while now, I've been thinking that debate's probably over. what he's doing at the moment is absolutely absurd. So with no real team, LeBron admitted that he's just going to have to give everything he can. And it was supposed to be Rockets win in 4 games of a 7-game series. So if you win 4, you win the series. The LA Lakers went 3 up in the series.
Yeah.
And he was playing some of the most outrageous basketball I've seen him play in his career.
There's that clip that's going around at the moment where it's like they're 3 points back or something.
Yeah.
And it's like rookie versus LeBron. And LeBron's 41?
Yeah.
And LeBron chases back after him, slaps the ball out of his hand, gets the ball again, comes out for a 3, jumps over like 2 guys and just slots it.
Drains it. Like, it's
proper.
Absolutely like,
Yeah.
You're watching.
He's so good.
The thing that I love about this, and like I appreciate so much about that we're living in the era that he's playing, is when I see him do stuff like this, it makes me excited for the documentary.
I was going to say,
I'm like, I cannot wait for the edit of this. It's going to be unreal. The other thing that's crazy is,
you'll be sat there with your kids in like 20, 30 years time, be like, I remember watching this live.
I'm gonna be sat there with my kids and I'm gonna be so disappointed in them because some of the best comments I've seen online is that think of all the things as a man that you have done in your free time, and what LeBron has done with his free time is made a child that has gone on to be the reason they won the 3rd playoff game.
Yeah.
Because Bronny, LeBron's son, is also playing on the same team as him, which is just another reason that he's goated. Like, he's been playing so long that he's actually raised the child in his career that he's now good enough to be on his team.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then his son got 5 points, some of which he assisted with, which is sick. But when the Lakers beat the Rockets in that 3rd game, they won by 4 points. So without Bronny's points, they wouldn't have won the game. So as a result, there was stats going around of like LeBron's total scoring for that game with
combined
with Bronny's points on there, because it was like without him that wouldn't happen. But there's also like an insanely cool clip which like made me almost emotional of watching LeBron on the 3-point line take a step in looking like he's going to shoot, and it's just an alley-oop for his son to go and just dunk it, and or like not dunk it but like first layup. And like watching that, I'm just like,
imagine
that must be the most insane feeling as a father. Like assisting your son like that.
Crazy.
It's unbelievable. So
that's the power of sport, isn't it?
I think it's over and done with for me. The debate is that there shouldn't be a debate. I will give Michael Jordan the credit of he is like the initial chef, in that he was doing things which now I would say 90% of players in the league can do what Michael Jordan used to do. He was just the first to do it. And I think that's insane. But I think when you think about the fact that in the 90s, Jordan was playing against like one Hall of Famer, which was Larry Bird.
Yeah.
LeBron James goes against teams with 4 Hall of Famers in the time and still comes out on top is enough for me.
But there's so much like cultural significance around Michael Jordan as well. And I'm sure there is as well around LeBron James, but it's just like, it's interesting because they're both such household names. It'd be interesting to know like worldwide who more people know of. Is it MJ or is it LeBron?
I think that's tough because that's like personal branding as well. But I'm thinking like
the Jordan brand is like so wild.
Yeah. But then the LeBron career has lasted 22
years. Yeah, I get that as well.
Which is insane.
Yeah, but like, Michael Jordan played baseball as well.
Because he couldn't hang enough in basketball. Anyway, what have we got next?
Should we shout out some of the marathoners?
Yes.
So we'll go away from the elites first. George Grassley.
Right, so
we have to shout out.
George Grassley won the London Marathon this weekend, just gone, with a time of 2 hours 12. And I'll be specific, he won the mass, so he didn't win the elites, as we'll get onto. But George previously had run London Marathon last year, and his goal this year was to beat 2:15, because that's, in theory, like an elite marathon time. George ran 3:09 per kilometre for the 42.2 kilometres, finishing in a time of 2 hours and 12 minutes, which is absolutely ridiculous pacing from him.
Yeah.
When in theory he needed to hold 3:10 for his target time, which I think his original target time was actually 2:14 is what he wanted.
Okay.
But he needed to run 3:10, and then he actually ran faster than that. Strava says 3:09. I actually think based on the distance, it ended up being more like 3:07, 3:08. which doesn't sound like a lot, but to be faster than a time you've never run before for the marathon distance by that much is actually pretty insane. So hats off.
Yeah, absolutely incredible performance. And like the stars must have aligned. And I can't imagine how good it would have felt, because I think there was a point where it was him and two pacers, and he was just kind of tucked between the two pacers. But then the pacers will finish the race, basically, I think somewhere around probably 30K. And then it's just him by himself through the streets of London, which were like, I've been to the marathon a lot of times living in London my whole life. Last maybe like 4 years, I go to the same spot. This was the first time that I've arrived at that spot, and I'm like 3 people deep already.
It was busy.
It was like, and that was early. So I can't imagine what it would have felt like running down Embankment with like 5 deep of people just screaming at you, and it's just you by yourself. Like that has to be a contributing factor to why he ran so fast and ran so well. And he also like, he looked fucking good doing it.
Oh yeah, he looked smooth as hell.
So good.
One interesting fact for you, seeing as we seem to have the most outrageous network, you used to live with George.
Me?
I thought you
no,
used
I
to
went
live
to
with
school
George.
with him.
Oh, you went to
well,
school
if you
with
count
him.
the fact that we went to posh school and boarded together, essentially. Yeah,
They live. Yeah.
No, we went to school together.
That's so. It's actually crazy. Isn't it?
Yeah.
We are actually looking to get George on. If George is listening to this, this is a reminder of your invite. But we did speak about it last week before you became famous.
The open invite.
So if you want to come on and talk us through how it actually felt, I'm sure all of the listeners listening to me say this right now would absolutely love to hear how your training has gone, because you do also work a 9 till 5.
That's the best bit about it.
One of the things as well, if we're going to get into his training, I can tell you, and you know this, George runs his easy runs to and from his 9 to 5 job to get his mileage in. And that can be anything from like 15 to 20K pre-work and 10 to 50K after work, because I know he front loads his volume daily and weekly. But yeah, just
his
insane.
Strava's a good place to go and have a little look through. The best is like run to work in the morning and then run from the office to Battersea to then do your session to then run home. He was just on, I think, Times Radio or something. He did an interview because now he's famous.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, if you went pro and essentially just left your job, I think he works in finance, left your job, how much more running volume would you do? And the guy's like, I can't do any more running. Like, he's on 200K weeks. And like, no one really is running more than 200K weeks. But he was saying the marginal gains where he could get faster would be, he'd have more time to recover. He'd have more time to actually do strength training. Because those are the first things to go. Like, you have to prioritize your running. I'd be interested. Like, we've got to get him on. We've got to talk about it.
Well, we will. What I will say is I'll give, and this is only fair because Roscoe gets involved with us a lot. Roscoe did actually do a podcast with him conveniently a week ago. So if you guys do want to hear a bit about George, then go and check that out on the Diet Stats Monday podcast, because George does talk a bit through about his preparation for this race. Obviously, he's not done actually. He's not completed many marathons. And really like raced them. So it was interesting to see how his prep was. And one of the things he did say was he couldn't do much more volume if he wasn't working his job. The thing that would be, he would have more of a focus on his strength training, because right now he honestly says, I just avoid it. Like I'm supposed to do, I just don't bother. I hate it. But then also
that's going to be a really frustrating thing for people to hear.
and then the thing that's also really interesting about him saying that, you know, his job is his opportunity to rest, like it's forced rest. So when he sits down in that chair, he's actually deloading his legs and he's forced to do it, but it mentally is so different to his training. Whereas, I mean, I've experienced this in a career shift, but you go from doing something that you enjoy doing and then you don't have the sort of forced thing that you have to do, which then makes you want to do your training and your whatever it is more. You suddenly kind of get this blurred line of like, oh, this is kind of my job now. And like, if you have a bad day doing the thing you love, that you've had a bad day at work, and it kind of all blurs. And so I think that's a really difficult thing for someone at his level to cross into the elite. It's like, some people really don't find it very easy. And so I can imagine there is a bit of hesitation to do that.
And I think the reason why we're so excited is like, to put it into perspective, that's one of the fastest British marathons this season.
Didn't you say it was something like top 10 maybe?
I don't know if it's top 10, but it's like, it's going to be up there. Because you're obviously like the first finisher, British finisher for the marathon on Sunday was Mohammed. He ran a 2:06. So there's still a big gap. And I'd say the closer you get to those numbers, probably the harder it is to eke out like the extra minutes that you need. But whilst we're talking about Roscoe and his podcast, like he also ran on Sunday. He ran, I've got it written down somewhere. He ran a 2:34.51.
3:34.
Sorry, God.
Yeah. But no, honestly, for a first marathon as well, like his first time doing it, I think 3 weeks before didn't think it was worth investing in new shoes, and his shoes he did most of his training in for this block, I think had over 1.2 thousand Ks in them.
So a lot.
Yeah,
he's gonna hope when we edit it, we leave the 2:34.
Yeah. He's gonna make a reel out of that, I'm sure. But no, he looked really good out there, and it's obviously not the first time he's like covered the distance, because he's done an Ironman and then he did the trail marathon that you did, but it's his first like proper marathon race
on tarmac racing.
And so big congratulations to Roscoe. Who else did we
so 2 long-term podcast listeners and also podcast contributors, they'll know who they are. So we've got Nick Billett, ran 2:30.04, and that's correct. That is a 2 to start with, which is unbelievable.
So quick.
He messaged me and he said those 4 seconds were going to haunt him forever.
Yeah,
I was like, you just get your money's worth. 4 extra seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Of like soaking up the cheering along.
That's what I do when I play golf, mate. You know, I use the whole course.
Lots of shots. We'll see the whole thing. Yeah. And then Ollie Clark ran a 2:42.59.
So good.
Which is also like the
sub 2:43.
We've like exactly nice. Smashed it.
Yeah.
We've been deconditioned because there's so many people who like run incredible times, and you look at that and you go, just even getting close to 3 hours is so good. To go sub 3 is just like mind blowing. George Grassley's ruined it for everyone because he can run like fucking close to 2:10, which is mental. Gordon Lahr ran a 3:28.26.
3:30, which actually as well, for some context, knowing Gordon, like he wasn't very well.
No, he was,
and he's been quite ill. So like pulling that out of the bag, fair play. Do you know who he's coached by?
Is it George?
It's George Grassley.
Of course it is.
Great weekend all round, professionally and whatever.
Then we've got
I should also say not officially, like unofficially, like advice.
Advice. Yeah. Consultant.
Yes,
marathon coach, consultant. Holly Archer, who's kind of like bridged the gap into High Rocks recently.
Yeah.
There's probably more controversy to talk around her for Warsaw, but maybe we skip over that because she had a great race in London. She ran 2:33.44, came 4th of the masses.
That's mad.
Which is crazy fast.
Considering like there was no like real marathon block in training.
Yeah. So just like incredibly good.
Pretty impressive.
And then we've got a few more, quickly run through them. Truett Haynes.
Yeah, not in jeans this time though.
I was so disappointed. I saw him ran past, and I was really glad I saw him. But yeah, I was sad he wasn't wearing jeans.
Hasn't he? Because he ran, I can see on your screen, 2:30.235. Yeah. Hasn't he run a very similar time in jeans before?
I think so. Yeah.
So like,
I saw his Instagram post. He said he didn't run with GPS because he just wanted to like see what he could do intuitively.
You saw our reel about Paula.
Must have been. Yeah. And he said he reckons he's got more. He left probably some time on the table after that. He reckons he can go faster. But his big thing, if you don't know, he's pledged that he's going to try and make the Olympic trials, and he needs a time of 2:16. And like all of the marathon world and all of the running is like up in arms that he's even made that claim. But like to bridge the gap from a 2:30. 15 minutes to get down to 2. It is a lot. But you know, split the. I'd love to see him do it. I think he's cool. I think he's a good ambassador for the sport of running. But yeah, if he can do it, that would be incredible. A few more. Ailish McCoglin. I think it was a Scottish record, but she ran 2:24. She was the first Brit. Slightly slower than her PB. She's obviously an incredible runner, but I don't know if you saw the photos of her foot. Not good for her shoe brand.
Oh, really?
But like her whole shoe and sock was like red with blood. And then she posted some like pretty graphic photos after for like the bottom of her toe would like come off.
No, that's
and there's an interview. She was like, I felt my foot explode. I was like, that doesn't sound great. She had a pretty rough time out there. So I don't know if it was a new shoe or whatever. And then funnily, Alex Yee, who was one of the pacers.
Yeah.
I was reading an interview. I was like, maybe he accidentally paced Jack Rowe a little bit too fast because Jack ran faster than Alex Yee's time. That's so funny. I don't know if he's kicking himself. And then there are a few. I mean, there's loads of great performances that we could talk about, but I think obviously the standout we need to talk about is we've got 2 guys who have both run sub 2. And like we can deep dive into that. Before we do that, I need to go and chat about the girls' race because we can't skip over that. It was the women's only record was broken by a Sefa who's now gone back-to-back London marathons, which is incredible. It was the first race, I think, where 3 women have run sub 2:16, which is also incredible. But it was a really interesting race to watch. If you haven't watched it, you should go back. I don't know if there's highlights, but you can kind of scrub through the live coverage. They went so hard for the first half. And it was an interesting battle between the top 3 girls. But it felt like they probably went a little bit too hot on the flip to how the men ran it, which was just incredible. And we'll talk about that now. But maybe they got a bit excited over the occasion. But yeah, that's kind of the women's race. But I guess now the main course.
Yeah, well,
the hot topic.
First of all, those of you that do High Rocks and know High Rocks can all understand this was just a fast course at the end of the day. That's all it was. But no, let's be clear. I'm pretty sure, did 3rd place in the men's race beat the world record?
Yeah.
So 3rd place beat the world record.
Yeah.
And came 3rd.
Jacob Kiplimo, yeah.
Wild thing. And we were talking about Kiplimo last year,
because he ran some ridiculous half marathon time, I think back in Valencia, and we were chatting about could he make the step up to marathon distance, and
clearly yes,
he
has, but unfortunately 2 other people have as well. So we had 2 sub 2 hours. The winning time was 1:59:30, and the next time was
Kajelchka ran,
was it 1:40?
I think
1:59:40.
He matched or was very close to matching what Kipchoge did for his Breaking 2 attempt.
Yeah.
Which is like the controversy or like the main talking point is that there was so much funding behind that Nike attempt and so much science behind it and the team of pacers and lasers and nutrition strategy. And I'm like, yes, there was a lot put into that. And yeah, maybe it's kind of tough for Nike to see 2 Adidas runners run faster in an actual official event. But also like Sebastian Soare and Kajelcha aren't going into this marathon with like no preparation. They've got a whole team behind them. They've got Adidas making their shoes for them and creating like the most scientifically advanced, fastest trainer possible. They've got a whole nutrition team behind them. They've got like, I think, and I was actually listening to Paula Radcliffe's podcast. They did like a debrief after the race, and she was talking to Steve Cram, who's one of the commentators. At some point had the world record mile time as well. So like really great runners. They'd run computer simulations of like the perfect race. And with the shoes, the terrain, the temperature, everything, all nutrition strategy, all factored in, I think it came out and it said the fastest you can run is a 1:59, it's like 30 something. So it's like, it was literally bang on what he ran, which is like crazy to think.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, does that put a time in his head? That's the fastest you can run. Or could he have gone quicker if he didn't know that?
Yeah, maybe.
Do you know, there was like a ceiling. They went, if everything's perfect, you run this fast.
Yeah.
But if they hadn't told him, so it's just interesting to think.
I feel like with that barrier having been in place for so long though, like you would expect that theoretical barrier, now that the science has caught up and like they're able to predict things, you would expect them to not be like, oh yeah, you could probably do a 1:54.
Yeah.
It would be like so close to sub 2, and if you haven't run sub 2 before, you'd be like, I think on the perfect day, yeah, I probably can be the person that breaks too. But you're right. If they were like, do you know what, weather, shoe, the way you're running at the moment, everything's lining up to, you could even go sub 1:59, maybe. But I don't think it was ever going to be like.
But I do think like the stars had aligned, and he probably had close to what we could consider a perfect race. I think probably their main threat going. So this is from a perspective of Sebastian Soare, the guy who won. I believe they'd have thought their main threat was coming from Kiplimo.
Yeah.
So Kajelcha, out of context, or for context, that was his debut marathon.
That I was going to.
So like that in itself is just truly mental. So the first time he had ever run a race at marathon distance, I think that helped the race.
I was going to say because you're with someone.
Yeah. So I've seen so many memes and like loads of stuff coming out. Imagine running sub 2 and not winning.
Yeah.
And like this poor guy on his debut has come second to maybe the best, that for sure is the best ever marathon ever run. But I think the fact that he was on debut maybe was a little bit kamikaze with his pace and like didn't really know how he was going to feel. So I think that helped to hurt Kiplimo. Like they dropped him. And I think it then pushed Sebastian to like go on and run as fast as he did. Because without that, he may have just like, well, I've dropped Jacob Kiplimo. I can slow up now because I know I'm going to win.
I think one of the things that I've always found when even if I'm doing like a workout kind of with someone against someone, I'm getting a bit competitive, is like, if I'm in the hole, and actually you know this very well because of the group, the training group you put together a couple of years ago, but I could be in so much pain and the person to the left or right of me could also be in so much pain. But because they haven't stopped, I refuse to.
Yeah.
And so if I'm running along, and fair enough, there might have been like a 15-second difference by the end of the race, but there definitely wasn't up until like the last few kilometers.
Yeah.
So if I'm like, God, I'm hurting, but then this person's just hanging onto my hip, I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. Whether they're thinking the exact same thing and we're both thinking, I don't know if I can do this anymore, just simply because they are there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to be able to do it. If they're able to do it,
sure, I can do it also.
And I also wonder if Sebastian, he's like, I cannot lose to a guy who's running his first competitive marathon.
Maybe. Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah. It is incredible. But also like when you think of this computer simulation, I don't know if they'd factored in like, what if XYZ makes a move? Do I cover that move?
Yeah.
But it's like the team know that he can run that fast. They just haven't put together the perfect race or the perfect race strategy. Like he's run, I think the last 12 months he'd run 3 marathons. I think he'd won all 3 of them and he hadn't run slower than like a 2-hour 3. So it's like this guy is like serious running pedigree. Just to mention, he's also gone back to back now at London. Yeah. So he won last year, he's won this year. I saw in my notes, I can't skip over. I think Asefa, who won the women's race, she's run 8 marathons, I think including the Olympics and maybe world champs. She's never placed lower than second. Like that's sick. That's
good to know for betting.
Yeah. It's like always put your money on her. That's an awesome stat.
One of the things that I thought was really interesting for Sebastian's race was he effectively negative split the entire time, which is insane. Because the first, so I looked through briefly. They started and went out at like a 2:48 per kilometer. I'm not even sure what that is per mile. But then I think his average pace for the entire race was something like 2 minutes 51 per kilometer.
Okay.
The slowest split came like 8 to 12 kilometers.
Yeah.
And was a 2:54 per kilometer. And then it dropped back down at the end. I think his last 2 kilometers was sub 2:44 per kilometer, which is just
he drops
so crazy,
like a 4:12 mile or something to finish it, which is just like.
So I think of the if you did it into 5 kilometer blocks.
He's at 14s consistently.
So he was at 14s, and then I think the slowest one might have crept into the 15s.
Shocking.
And then
how embarrassing.
But just zero rest. You just like actually looking at them sprinting down the road.
But it's like
it's just been a race.
You do look at it and you go, well, they don't look like they're sprinting because they like, so from like a televised perspective, obviously, and in your brain is like they can't possibly be sprinting because they're going for so long.
Yeah.
But they ran past, and in person, I'm so pleased that I was there and I saw them in person, because it's like that moment where you're like, where were you? And I was like, I was actually there. And for all of the people who ran, you were a part of history. Like whether you did a 7-hour marathon or a 2:30 marathon or whatever, like you were part of that history, which is a really cool thing to be able to say. But like it is a blur, and then they're gone. And you're like, oh, I missed them.
Yeah.
So I put a photo up of this on my story of Soare and Kiplimo. They're like running next to each other. I'm like 3 people, but I had to screenshot the video because they're just, I couldn't take the photo fast enough. They're just, bam, they've gone through. But it's like, you can't comprehend it. And I've said this so many times before. I hear people just chatting away in the gym. We were talking about it in class, and people are like, I don't know how long I could hold that pace for, like probably 50 meters. Like, oh, I'm like, no. You can't run that pace, and you can't even run that pace, let alone run it for...
I saw a really funny thing. BBC Sport decided to go into a gym to talk about how quick that was, and they got a guy who was like actually pretty well built. And they were like, how long can you run at the pace. And the whole premise was like, this guy might be able to do it for like 30 seconds. They never once showed the treadmill monitor because he is dying. And then afterwards, he's like, yeah, I don't think many people will be able to hold that kind of pace for that long. It's like, you didn't even show that you hit it because you didn't hit it. Like, you didn't get there.
I think some gym treadmills don't even go that fast.
No, it was on one of the assault runners.
Okay,
so you
fine.
can see
Yeah.
then they're self-driven. But yeah, he did not hit that speed. I'm so sure because I could see how fast he was running. And the fact that they went up and it cut. And I was like, yeah, there's no way.
The same thing.
What's really upsetting is, you know how you said, it was a pleasure to be there and see it. What's quite depressing is I was on the Northern Line.
Oh, wait, that happened.
For when the whole thing happened. So I didn't see it in person. And I'm using this as a segue, by the way. It's not obvious. The reason was because I was at the CrossFit Coaches Congress.
Oh, nice.
The day before in Madrid. I didn't see anything outside. It was a hotel next to the airport. I went between the two.
Perfect.
However,
Yep.
I did meet Matt Fraser, which was crazy. And I felt really guilty because I know that's huge for you. I mean, it's huge for me.
Yeah.
Like, it was huge for you. What's really, really upsetting is I did actually have a pen and paper in my pocket to get him to write you a little message.
Oh, shame.
But the opportunity just was not there. And I didn't want to be like filming him, being really professional and being like, do you mind writing it? Because also, and I'm sure, Matt, I know you're listening. I'm sure you won't mind me saying, you looked rough and all you wanted to do was go to bed because they'd been screwed over on one of their connecting flights.
Oh,
He
perfect.
slept on the airport floor.
Oh, nice.
After spending a full day dealing with, I believe he's got twins.
Yeah.
Dealing
Like
with
small
his
children,
twins that were fighting. Apparently they're at fighting age.
Oh,
Is the only
nice.
way he described it.
Nice.
And so he looked tired. He was looking at an opportunity to get back to
Yeah.
I believe I was supposed to see him later on in the day as well, and apparently he was just asleep.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair enough.
fair enough. But I'm sure we will meet him again.
Yeah, when he
and I
comes
will
on the
make sure
podcast.
that he comes on the podcast, or at the very least, and this is what I was actually going to do. I was going to ask him if he could give me like just a quick voice recording of his peak performance training week.
Oh,
So
nice.
we could go over
and discuss it.
So I'll see if I can do that because I do actually.
I'm
think
sure
I'm gonna
there's
write to him
there's so
later.
much on YouTube. He's like the glory days of CrossFit
Yeah,
for me.
exactly.
Yeah. So good.
Anyway, that was annoying, and I'm using that as a segue to pull us into grind my gears. So
Nice job.
This week there's quite a lot of things. A lot of them are going to be marathon focused. So we shall
find them. Oh, there you go.
fly into them. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, so the controversial one, I don't want to upset anyone. And I don't think we said it, but like, congratulations if you did manage to finish.
Yeah,
Like, it's such an amazing day in London. But how many days post-marathon, it's not really grind my gears, more of a question. How many days post-marathon is it acceptable to still be wearing your medal?
I personally think 0. Because look, I did see one thing.
But you're taking it in your pocket with you?
There's a few people that I know that work at Runner.
Okay.
And they did Medal Monday.
That's nice.
And that's nice. I think office
like
spaces,
that.
if that's
Yeah,
the thing,
that's
like
fun.
Medal Monday, if you ran the marathon, bring in your medal. I think that's great. But I just...
But can you go around London and there's certain places that like offer you free food and you can get free stuff?
It's rare on the day after. I think it's becoming more common because it looks great for like PR.
yeah.
But
Like, can you get free tube as well?
you get
like...
free tube on the day.
Oh, okay, fine.
And that, you just tap it.
It comes with an Oyster card inside, yeah.
It's £4 preloaded. No, so yeah, you get that free. But then I think if you're wearing it after that day, like that's a bit sad. Like, do you know what? It's okay if you're just in your own home and no one else is there. Like, if you want to do that to feel some sort of achievement, fine. But otherwise, just hold it, have it out. That's fine.
I was going over Tower Bridge to get to work yesterday. I was cycling over and there were lots of people who had obviously like traveled to London to race in the marathon. They were there holding their marathon, getting a photo of Tower Bridge in the background, which was quite nice. And there were lots of people wearing them. But I think like getting towards... It's like, how many days after New Year do you say Happy New Year? It's the same kind of, I think like
it's so true.
2 days probably acceptable.
You are
then...
quite annoying. Like I understand you're going to talk about the fact that you run the London Marathon for probably a week. It's going to be in your conversation. I don't need to see the medal though. Fair enough.
I've seen it enough
Yeah,
time.
I've seen it enough time.
I'm just jealous.
I didn't even think that this year's medal was right.
They were huge.
Yeah.
That's got to be the biggest marathon medal I've ever seen.
That was pretty cool. It's nothing on. I think there was a Paris one like a year ago.
Yeah.
I think the 2024 Paris Marathon medal was really cool. I
yeah.
like that one. I think maybe I'm hesitant to run a real marathon because I don't really want a shit medal.
Oh, true. That would really ruin your day, wouldn't it?
Grind my gear. It would grind out of my gears if I ran a marathon and the medal was horrible.
I think, yeah.
Talking of which, actually, one of my grind my gears this week. So where I was positioned was just after Tower Bridge doing some filming stuff, which was about the half marathon point. The number of people I saw get to that point, wave at the marshal, and just be like, "Yeah, I'm done."
No way.
And they were like, "Oh, like, are you okay? Are you injured?" Because there's ambulance crews everywhere, and there were a few people stopping and getting injured, and getting wheeled off the course.
Yeah.
God bless them. But some people were like, "I only fancied doing a half. It was incredible running across Tower Bridge, but I'm done. I think I'm happy." And I was like, "Do you know how many people want to run this thing?"
Yeah.
And you're just like, "I'm happy with that. I've done my half marathon." It's like, oh my gosh.
No.
So annoyed. I've never applied to the London Marathon, but I'm annoyed that you've done that because I would rather run it than you.
That's so bad.
And I know how much that would annoy you.
So annoying.
Have you done your application for next year?
I have already done it. I need to. So my next grind my gear is also marathon related, and it's also from a listener who sent in. So let me read their messages. I'll keep them anonymous. They've set the tone. It's so good.
Okay.
So picture this. All right. On my lunch break, enjoying the dulcet tones of the MindSets podcast.
Lovely.
What do I see? Question mark. So this must be 2 days before the marathon. Okay. So you could have already gone to the expo to collect your numbers, etc., etc. What do I see? Someone already wearing their London 26 marathon tee. So when you go and collect your stuff, you get a t-shirt as well.
Okay.
So they haven't even run the marathon yet. They're wearing the t-shirt. Okay. So
keen.
Having picked up my t-shirt yesterday, in brackets, obviously to never wear, just put that out there. It says finisher on it. So surely you can't go around plastering that on pre-event. All right. No. Not everyone is going to get through the 42 Ks. So how is it already saying finisher? Surely that's a yellow card offense. Simply cannot. That's bad juju.
No, I think that's a red.
That's a full red.
That's a full red. That should be a test.
Yeah.
If
that's so bad, isn't it?
Your chip should be in the race shirt.
Yeah, and if
you wear it beforehand,
you're not allowed to start.
No, that's it. Yeah, it won't work.
You're done. Yeah, I thought that was so good.
That's so awful.
Yeah,
you can't be doing that.
No.
We
have a thing for race finisher shirts anyway, but just that's bad.
Well, kind of another reoccurring grind my gear, which I've had multiple people send to me this week, was the number of people that ran like a sub 4-hour marathon wearing carbons. And you know what? Like there's a slight misconception. Carbon plated shoes have an efficiency improvement of up to 5%, but it's so dependent on the speed you're running at.
Yeah.
Because I think for a lot of, I don't know if it was George that mentioned this on Roscoe's podcast, but someone I spoke to that's a pretty good runner said, I don't know why people that are running above 4-minute kilometers.
Yeah, it's the 4-minute mark.
Yeah. So if you're not running that, you're probably doing more damage by running carbons, especially over a race.
I think it's also like this perception of, I'm running a race, so I need to get race shoes. And I'm like, you probably don't. No. But have you seen, so the new Adidas shoes that we kind of glossed over, that both the fastest guys wore on Sunday, the new technology, so they go on sale, I think, on Thursday. How much do they cost? Have you seen that?
No.
$500. So it's like 450 quid. So the new technology in it, I think it's called an energy rim. So it's not a carbon plate. It's like a rim that hugs the edge of the shoe. And then there's, I think, like a plate in the heel, which is obviously like created the most fast shoe ever and has the most return.
Well, the other thing that's interesting, I think it's the first marathon shoe that's under 100 grams.
It's so light.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's like
so
a sock.
light.
Socks the way more than that, to be honest.
It's actually mental.
Yeah.
But then it's like, it must be close to a one-wear shoe.
Yeah.
It's I can't remember who posted a photo of them post-race. It was someone fast, like one of the elites. And like, they have basically like the rubber at the back of the sole as grip, which is basically like an F1 tire. I'd assume it's like got nothing on it, but it was already peeling off.
Yeah. And
I was like, you've only run 42K, so you're spending. So this would be a grind my gear for anyone who's not an elite level marathon runner, or even sub elite, wearing or buying those shoes.
Yeah.
It's just like, please do not buy those shoes,
literally,
unless you can run like a 250.
Think of the planet as well.
Yeah. What a waste.
What else have we got here? Oh, you've got one about the tube strike.
So again, I'm going to have to read this out because the message was so good. So obviously in London, we've had some tube strikes going on the last week. I got this message at 10 to 7 after a commute on Thursday morning. Grind my gears for you, ... So if you would like to send in your grind my gears, we're on Instagram. You can send me a personal message if you'd like to.
Wherever you
want to go. So the people that think a tube strike is the perfect time to learn how to ride a bike for the first time, ... Next message. Utter carnage in central London roads yesterday. Zero bike control or awareness for other cyclists. What the hell, FFS?
So valid.
So valid.
And do you know what? I actually do love, I think e-bikes are incredible. Absolutely incredible. But my God, do the rules seemingly just not apply to anyone on them. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm like the perfect person, because if I'm at a light and I'm in a rush and I can see nothing's happened, but it is safe, or there is a way for me to do it safely, then I'll be cautious. But like, what I am not doing is what I have seen people doing in the last week, which is just like jumping curbs, like using pedestrian lights to cross quickly, but then like also go the wrong way up the side of a road just because it's empty, and like forcing cars that are going the correct way to like stop because this person is clearly more important on their line bike. It is just insane. And then I'm gonna leave it there because I just continue going off on people that don't know how to ride a bike. It's wild to. Also the people that clearly didn't do their cycling proficiency because they don't indicate. They just turn.
I've adopted some bad habits from my road cycling, where you like learn how to signal in a group, and when you corner, it's like a very subtle like little point.
I do a subtle
rather than like the I'm sticking my arm out and not doing that. No, that's quite horrible. Little point.
But no, literally not doing anything. But I've been cycling with people that are like turning left, but they're in the middle of the road.
No.
And I'm on the left side of the road like you should be.
I think it's straight across.
That's horrible. We've got another one that's been written in, which is totally unrelated, but is cars without physical keys, are the ones that have fobs, which is like the car knows. I also agree with this person, but they just don't make sense because sometimes cars just don't recognize them weirdly when it's cold. But also, you're just kind of trusting that you do have your key. You don't actually know where it is.
And then it's like, where do you put it when you get in the car? There's no like, you don't have to like insert to start. You just like leave it in the center console.
And if someone has taken my bag and just like, I know that they would have to walk up to the car and like try and open it, but they could.
Do you know the thing? Like whenever I lock the car, I like to just check that it's locked. But you lock the car and then you go close again, and as you go to open the door, it opens again, and you're like, horrible. So I need to lock it, walk away with the key, and then ask someone to check if it's if it's locked or not. I love that.
That's no,
they're too clever.
Really, really annoying. You've got another one.
So my one, I don't know how many times I've said this. I haven't said it in a while though, but fitness influencers giving unsolicited advice. You can be a fitness influencer, whatever.
Is that not the job of a fitness influencer?
Oh, sorry. That
exactly is their
yeah. So continue to do that. But it's specifically when they're giving advice around nutrition, and I've seen so many different accounts giving like, it's not even close to right. It's just like so incorrect what they're suggesting as a carb load for the marathon. So over the last week, I've just been peppered by. And as soon as I click on one, like look through their account, it's just like countless, like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. I'm like, 1, you have no qualification. 2, you're a pretty average runner. And 3, it's just wrong. So it's like, if I was an actual registered nutritionist, I would be all over it. But I'm not, so.
Although if you are listening as a registered nutritionist, there's some free game for you.
I'll send you some accounts.
The grind my gear for me this week, I've mentioned this before actually in previous events. Shooting at the London Marathon was the worst thing I've ever done. I had a tough time at the T100 last year. I'm telling you about that. Worse was the London Marathon. Just like you said, I don't know what was going on this year. It was so much busier.
So busy.
And I, in hindsight, probably picked some of the worst points. In my experience, what I will try and do when I'm at an event is find where most people will go and then go the other way. And then just take advantage of the fact that the content looks better, even though I'm not at the most famous spot. I went to the Tower Bridge half marathon point, which is also mile 22 on the way back, which meant that it was so busy. Despite that, I managed to make friends with people at the front, which is my normal technique. And when the person's coming along that I'm expecting them to, I just lean over the barrier, which worked okay. But When timing chips don't work properly, it is awful. So multiple times the timing chips were delayed for the people that I was expecting to come past, which meant that when they did come past, they were past when I saw them, and their timing chip was half a mile down the road. So to counter that, did the smart thing. I know a lot of people do this, shared their location with their phone. With how busy it is, and someone actually said this perfectly in London. In London, I overheard this. How are we conceivably supposed to have been to the moon, but when it's busy in a location, nobody's phone works? And I was thinking at the time, like, wow, okay, conspiracy theorist, but like also quite valid.
Yeah, fair.
Because what happened, and I ended up missing someone's finish, which was really, really gutting because I had been there for 15 minutes waiting. I was getting stuff set up. I was not just stood there like on my phone or anything. I was genuinely looking for a better angle because, believe it or not, the finish is quite a busy place.
Yeah.
So I'm in the grandstands at this point because they open up, and I was working my way through. I saw a family ahead of me, was watching their daughter go past. And then as soon as they were out, I was in. I was like, cool, I'm at the front. I've got the whole view of the whole mount. They're half a mile down the road on Find My iPhone. They're half an hour down the road on the chip. Somewhat misleading, whatever. Look up at the screen, they're across the line.
You'd be gutted.
So gutted, but also like I'm gutted because like I'm trying to do my job. I cannot imagine how upsetting that would be if you were trying to support your daughter.
Yeah, and you'd miss them finish. Yeah.
That would be so sad. Like you've been ripped of that moment. And I don't think the thing that I'm thinking is like, what am I actually upset about? Am I upset that chips shouldn't be used whatsoever? No, because can you imagine trying to track someone in a time where there were no chips? It'd be impossible. You'd just be hoping, and if they got injured or stopped or something like that, you just have no idea. But I just wish it was more reliable. Or there was just a better way.
You'd imagine it would be more reliable.
Yeah.
But I think, so the London Marathon, just on this point, I think it was, I saw somewhere where it was like 66,000 people started.
Yeah.
But that seems a lot because it broke the record for finishers.
Yeah.
There's like a Guinness World Record for the amount of finishers. I think it took that off the New York Marathon recently, which was like 59,000.
Yeah.
Does that mean that that amount of people didn't finish it? Or it's like that's how many people they were expecting to start. Some of them didn't start. Some of them didn't finish. Maybe as a percentage, that seems right, but it seems like a big number of people who don't finish. Yeah. But I mean, again, it's like, it just goes to show how difficult the marathon distance is.
I will also say as well, like just being about and around the marathon, I saw a lot of people that weren't finishing. Yeah. And like had to pull out from injury and all the people that decided half marathon was enough.
But going back to the spectating point, like it is, you know, you see the elites go through, then the sub elites go through, and then it's like, slowly more and more people, and then it's like, okay, we're getting close to the 3 hour finishes, the 3:30, the 4 hour, and it's like, okay, I can't see anyone. Like, how can I, even if I'm tracking them, I might not even see them. I had a load of people on Find My iPhone, and they're like coming up the road, and you're like stressing, you're like, am I going to see them? So if I did miss you, I'm sorry.
Well, talking of things to miss, if you aren't watching on YouTube right now, you won't have seen that we've got something over our shoulders. So this week, we have been in the presence of new pairs of high socks grip socks, which are originally for hybrid racing. It is their original intention, but I do actually know a lot of people that have started resorting to these in their races for running, just because they're looking for any sort of extra edge that can get them feeling more attached to their shoe. I've been there where I've been running a race which I tied up really, really well with lace lock, and for some reason that hasn't really worked, and one shoe now feels less comfortable than the other. And I end up coming away with blisters or something like that. That doesn't happen when you are more stuck to your shoe. You can obviously then imagine that if you are in a race where you have to pull a sled, push a sled, having your shoe stay firmly in there is always beneficial. You've raced in them, you like them.
Really, really big fan, yeah.
So if you are wanting to check them out, you can buy them in packs of 1. So by all means, do so. You can save yourself 15% using code MindSet15. That's at highsocks.com or High Style Clothing. You can also save yourself some podium chaser wear if you are also chasing podiums. So thank you very much for the support, High Socks. I'm going to put that back up there. White's our favorite color because we stupidly wear white trainers a lot of the time. Now we're going to move on to the game, which this week is higher or lower. Cool. Reason I've come back to higher or lower is I feel like the first time I ever did a higher or lower game with you, I mentioned marathon numbers.
Oh, really?
So I thought I'd bring that back.
I remember so vividly when we played higher or lower because I think it was in Birmingham.
Okay.
Post.
It might not be that. No, I think we did it last year.
Oh, really?
But yeah, you definitely
Okay,
weren't.
well,
Heck
that
wasn't
one,
in
that one
Yeah.
sticks in my mind. I was
Okay.
like, God, to get this over with.
Okay, I want you to give me a random number between 0 and 1,000 to start us off.
Okay. 750.
Okay, 750. In which case, I want to know if it's higher or lower to have a ticket for the Ironman Bolton 70.3. So half Ironman.
Yeah, a half. Okay.
Um,
The price for it.
the price for it.
It's not going to be much lower, but it's lower.
Okay. Supposedly, according to the internet, £452.05. So it is lower, correct? Okay, up next, we've got
I know well.
how many times in Ayrton Senna's career did he have the fastest lap in races?
And it needs to be
Is
higher.
it higher or lower than 452?
Knowing how many times Lewis Hamilton has won a Grand Prix, that number's lower. So I'm guessing.
This is just
But,
fastest lap, though.
but then I'm like, he can't have raced that many more Grand Prix. I'm going to say, is that, yeah, lower.
Okay. It's actually surprisingly only 19
Yeah, okay,
of his
fine.
whole career.
That's good
Now,
for me.
for the London Marathon,
Yeah.
how the youngest you can be to race is 18 years old. How many 18 or 19-year-olds raced in total? Is it higher or lower than 19?
Higher.
Okay. And do you want to take a guess?
No.
Lower? Okay. 654.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Now, again, topical. LeBron James average points per season
Okay.
across his whole 22-year career. Is it higher or lower than 654 points?
That's a really good question.
This includes postseason as well.
Okay. I mean, you play a lot of games per season, and as a good basketball player, you can score a lot of points per game. What did I say? How many? 600 and...
654.
I think I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to say higher.
Okay. His points average for GOAT status, 1,888.7 points per season throughout his career.
That's crazy.
Including injured seasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to do like a side-by-side of Michael Jordan.
If the people want it, put it in the
People
comments.
want it.
Message us on socials. We will do the GOAT debate and finalize it as two non-American, non-basketball players.
You're tall, though.
Yeah.
You've got some credibility. I don't even have that. I've got nothing.
Right. In the Six Nations, we've been seeing some record attendances.
Yeah.
We've also been seeing some pretty low attendances for the women's game. However, the Italian women's stadium is called the Stadio Sergio Lanfranchi. It's
Okay.
in Parma. Do you think the maximum attendance capacity is higher or lower than 1,888.7?
If it's lower, then it is an embarrassment to like the sport of women's rugby. I think it's just like, of course it should be much bigger, but knowing like amateur grassroots level rugby, which this isn't, but knowing that like some of the pitches that clubs in the UK are playing on for women's rugby don't even have a stand. I'm going to say higher.
Okay. You're right. It's 5,000.
Okay,
which is still
yeah.
so low. The stadium actually does look kind of cool, but
Yeah, I
it's
bet.
tiny.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay, so from there, we've got what was Alex Ronchevic's winning earnings from Warsaw?
Is this so?
This is just like
That's
on
good.
big checks.
And he raced. You're not going to give me this. He raced doubles and solos, and he won both. Yeah, he made okay, but then he split the doubles potentially. We assume he split with Tim,
We're going pre-tax as well, because we do have to pay tax on their own.
and the stadium size was 5,000 something.
It was.
For sure, he made more.
Okay. Couldn't you work out how much he made?
I'm gonna say close to like 15 to 18K.
Pre-tax $20,000.
Okay.
So he split the 10 with Tim,
Yeah.
but you win 15 if you win the Minnesota.
Okay, I thought it was like closer to 12, but okay, cool. I'm pleased with that as a guess.
Yep. So 20,000 was his earnings. Okay.
That's decent.
How many people finished the London Marathon? Is it higher or lower than 20,000?
Higher.
You've got the number in your head?
Yeah.
What is it?
I'm going to say it's like close to 59.
So 59,000.
Okay. God, I'm good today.
It can't be to the
No.
person.
804 or something.
Okay. How many people finished across both London Hyroxes?
Okay, so December in XL and then London in Olympia.
Which was an 8-day event.
I mean, it's definitely higher because I know that in London, I think it was close to like, I remember looking because I was interested to know if it was how many people were competing versus how many people ran the marathon. And I think it was quite close in just the XL. Somewhere sat around like 40 to 50K people. So even if 20,000 or 30,000 people, let's say that's quite a lot for Olympia. I'm sure it's more.
Got him. You got, as did I, by the marketing side of things. So London XL had 44,000 participants, which included judges and volunteers.
Never.
Finishers, there was only 21,823. And in London Olympia, only 6,000. Which is low. And that does seem low. That seems lower than I expected.
Is that with the
But that's according to the internet.
Okay. Was that including the European
EMEAs? Well, I'm not 100% sure, but even if it wasn't, then that would only add a couple thousand. It's not going to be higher than the 59,000 runners we had at London Marathon, I'm afraid.
At least my thought process was logical.
True. Okay, so we're going to use 6,000 and we're going to use 21,823, so 27,823.
Okay, shame.
Higher or lower? Patrick Mahomes' daily earnings.
Higher. I'm not even going to do the maths. I'm not even going to do the maths.
So his daily earnings, off season or not, $137,000, $808.
Yeah. Crazy.
Okay.
But also like, that's basically a sixth of what? Wait, what did we work out Cristiano Ronaldo's has?
Yeah.
I don't even know, but like crazy money. Cool.
So, okay, the last one. Higher or lower than 137,808. The average number of views on a MindSets reel this year.
That's a great question. Because we've had some big ones. We've had like a 2 million plus. Then we've had my latest one booming at 450K. The Keely,
big up Paula, by the way.
Yeah. She sorted us out. Yeah. So did Keely for her one.
Yeah.
But then like I'd say on average we're getting like, I don't know, 137. I think it's lower. But the face you pulled.
No. Average views on our reels this year is 240,000.
I should have backed it.
Yeah. We've been doing really well.
Yeah, that's really good.
However,
that is really good.
People, lovely listeners that are involved, the likes don't convert the same. So while we have views and we have likes, we are very appreciative because we weren't generating this sort of traction a year ago. However, if you are listening to this, you're not following on Spotify, you're not subscribed on YouTube, or you're not even following on the social media before we get even into liking and commenting or sending us messages, please genuinely do so, because those views sound great and you might be sat there like, wow, those guys are doing so well. Neither of our bank accounts look any different. And without changing your bank account, because it's literally free, go to all of those platforms, please, especially if you're on one right now, just unlock your phone, whatever it is you're listening on, watching on, and just hit like and subscribe or follow if you're on Spotify. And if you can go over to the socials at any point, please do hit follow and get involved with some of the posts that we're posting. Feel free to go and stir the pot in some of the comments, because the Paula Radcliffe reel and the Lewis Hamilton one we've done, some of the comments have been outrageous. We also will need to say we might have ended someone's career, which is really sad if you think about it like that. But someone decided to comment from their gym business account, just saying stupidly silly things about Paula Radcliffe. and as a result have needed to delete their own account. So that's funny. You could have witnessed that whole thing if you were in our comment section. So please get there and send us any grind my gears you have as well. We have been low. We fortunately had a lot from the marathon of our own experience, but coming into the summer, we're expecting lots of things to be upsetting everybody, and we need to discuss them. We need to let you guys vent. So that is the plea of the episode, I would say.
Yeah, easy.
Anything else from you?
I don't think so. No. That's got to be my best quiz performance.
That was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
it's just a shame at the end. Yeah, you got done. It's like the one where you chose yourself your injury probability.
I was trying to be humble.
Terrible. Okay, well, without further ado, it was a pleasure having you all join us again for another week, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.